It's your boy, Mr. CJ. You see, I'm with my boys, Will Associates, my firepower here. A lot of willpower in the building.
Yes,
hey, welcome to the Mastermind Principles. We got a big topic today. One of my favorites that these two has helped me master, which is called sex transmutation, man. This is a topic that I know a lot of people maybe never heard of, don't really know about it, don't understand the powers of it, and how important it is for you to really understand that. So in the Mastermind Principles, these type of topics are so deep that I really have to do with my Mastermind Alliance, my people, my team, and these two have really specialized in this type of topic and how it's been, working for them. So how you guys feeling? How you guys' energy feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I've been waiting to talk about this.
Yes, sir.
This is important.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. How you feeling?
Man, for what this has done for my life, there's a lot of people that need to know about this. So let's get this out.
Let's rumble
Let's
in
get it
the jungle,
out.
man. Off top, I'll start with you here, Slick.
Okay.
What does sex transmutation mean to you? What is this topic about? What are we talking about here? What is sex transmutation?
So when we talk sex transmutation, a lot of people associate the word sex in a physical form.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't think beyond physical sex. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand that the sexual desire is at the top of the list of the human stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk sex transmutation, I associate everything that has to do with sex. The energy you put into it as far as setting it up.
Mm-hmm.
The energy you put into it as far as how much you think about it, thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to get to it. And, I want to transmute all of that into a different energy. In my personal experiences, I use my occupation. So I take all the sexual energy I use and I transmute that into my occupation to focus on my development and my growth at work.
Powerful. Man, me, honestly, sex transmutation is nothing but power. Just like you said, that's the most powerful stimuli that you can have. So what that means to me is that this energy can't be wasted. This energy is nothing that can be put on something that's not conducive to what you want to do in the long game. So me personally, I had to realize I was wasting energy left and right. I had a problem with wasting energy, right? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I started to direct that energy, transmute it the proper way, that everything switched. Everything switched. It's you start to realize that it's powerful, it's important, it's healing. So when you learn the power of it, you make the conscious decision that I cannot do this anymore. I have to put it that way. I need to put it to my goals because that's what's important.
So basically what we're saying is sex transmutation, in you guys' own words, it's energy.
Energy.
It's energy.
Straight
it's
up.
A lot of energy. And that's a topic in itself for people not understanding that everything is energy. This is just one of the most powerful ones you want to direct. So let's do a definition from the good book.
Yeah,
Think and Grow Rich, out of Napoleon Hill's word. This is the good book. I'm referring to Think and Grow Rich. It's law right here.
It's law.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't really understand how deep and detailed this book really is. But this is where one of the principles come from. So can we get a definition from Napoleon Hill of what he says sex transmutation is? So
the good man Napoleon Hill, the way he puts it is, and I'll read you just a couple words from, his passage. So, and I go straight to it. That's how cold I am. He tells you the meaning transmute is simply changing or transferring of one element or form of energy into another. That's all it is. It's you're changing energy and you're transforming it into a form of another energy. And I got a few notes down here that adds to that definition. So with that being said, explaining transmute, sexual transmutation is simply transferring your sexual energy into a form of another energy. I mean, it's just that simple. You take all the energy that you get from your sexual stimuli and your sexual desire and your sex drive, and you put that into a form of another energy. And that can be anything that you're focused on, that you want to focus on.
The key word that you said is anything you want to focus on. So if sex energy is the most powerful one, if I'm applying it to something negative or bad, can you imagine how amplified that energy is?
So applying to anything. So if we're applying it to positive, are we saying like when I get this sexual energy? Are we saying like when I get horny? Is that what we talking about? Like, or are you saying like the energy that you building up to get horny, or the energy? You know, where is this energy coming from? How can I, like, when it comes in? How do I know it's coming in? To know, okay, this is a time to transmute it. You know what I'm saying?
So, man, great question. So that sexual energy is going nonstop.
Right.
It's going right now as we speak. There's sexual energy flowing through us. I think it reaches to a certain point where officially aware that, hey,
Right.
I'm horny. I need something. I need to go do this. When you reach that point, it's okay, now that I realize that I have this energy, what can I put it to? Do I need to go get in some cheeks, or do I need to go to my studies? Do I have that test tomorrow? Do I really want to go get this stress off? Or since I do want to do it, man, how much better can I study? How much can I apply?
So right, what you saying, explaining that well, is like what you was doubling down on, meaning when you get this energy of sexual expression, you saying it don't have to be in the physical. You don't have to express it
Without
on somebody on a physical way.
Without a doubt. And you said, is it just being horny? No, it's not just being horny. The thing people don't realize as far as their sexual energy and their sex drive is physical attraction is the basis of your sex drive. And if I see a girl that I think is attractive, or I know I'm attracted to a woman, or vice versa for a woman towards a man, the energy I'm going to put into getting them to even notice me. The energy I'm going to put into, once they notice me, how can I get them to understand that I'm interested in them?
Yep.
Once they know that, how can I get them to understand I want to go out with you? The energy I put and the thought I put into, you know, setting up a date or texting you all day, that's all energy. The courage I put into pursuing that person. I can be putting that same sexual energy into being courageous when it comes to my studies at school or my job at work. Or if you want to be an entrepreneur, breaking down that tear barrier and saying, let me be courageous and take that first step into manifesting my idea. You know? So it's a lot of energy that goes into the sexual desire that you're not even aware of. It's not just physically having sex, it's the build up to it.
Yeah.
That's where most of the energy comes
You don't
from.
realize like how much energy you wasting on some buns?
What? On buns.
Hey, but the thing
And the
about-
persistence. Being persistent.
Exactly, but it's so explosive though. I know every one of us have gotten that text at 3 a.m.
What?
Been dead sleep to the world. You just left engine room. You just left the club. You've been drinking. You tired. You about to pass out. What you doing? You get that text at 3 a.m. What you waking up for? You throwing off some
What?
pants? Oh yeah, I'm about to do it. You will drive to the other side of town.
Yes, sir.
The other side. One text. Oh, sexual energy. Let's go.
But you don't have that same energy to hop up and go to the gym at 4 a.m.
Woo.
Watch
You be mad while you still got the gut.
the
You
good.
want to complain. You want to complain. That's energy.
The build up. Woo! That's
it's real.
crazy. That's crazy. The build up, we don't understand we wasting. Let's jump into this next one. Kick some heat right here.
Yeah.
What negative effect does it have on you if you don't master this principle? If you don't know how to harness this sexual energy and put it to where it's something that's positive and constructive, and you know what effect is it having on your life to be wasting this?
So-
or not understanding this.
So let me just tell you off a personal experience
Go ahead.
from negative effects.
Go ahead.
So it's been plenty of times where I have known for a complete fact that I need to get this work done. I know I need to read these books. I know I have people depending on me. I've had times where the sexual energy has become so strong that I'm willing to even put that to the side when this is bigger than just me. I'm not just even hurting myself. I might be hurting my kids down the line because I didn't take the certain steps because I was so worried about some damn sex.
Yep.
So the negative thoughts that'll come is you just get taken off your game. We can't afford to be taken off of our game just for a physical expression of sex. it's not worth it. The risk reward is too lopsided. It's way too
like
lopsided.
guys for that little feeling. Little nut.
Bro, it didn't
Now
have
you don't want to deal, you don't want to do this no more. You waste all that energy you speaking of setting up the day, getting her to try this and that. You get the bun.
What are we? What are we? Now you got a whole other can of problems.
A whole other can of problem.
A whole other kind of
What can you elaborate on that as far as what a negative effect it'll have if you don't master this sex transmutation?
Well, you're not in control of your own mind when you don't master it. Because that desire, it has a big control over your imagination, your courage, your creativity. You get very creative when that sex drive is at its highest. I mean, you'll think of anything you can do to make it happen.
You trying to hit here, there.
get very
Let's just
creative.
do it in the car then. Fuck it.
Right, we don't care. So,
Hey, don't let her be with some friends. Hey, I'm telling you go distract her. I'm
What?
gonna go do this. I'll talk to
you
you.
gonna drop a whole play, a whole 42 fake out.
just to get it. Just to get it.
I'm telling you.
You get creative.
So the negative effects is you not having control over your own mind, because when that sex drive is focused on one thing, it's just like Will said. There's 10 other things you should be focused on that you're not focused on. And one thing personally that I look back on and I'm like, man, wow, I want to just smack myself is money. You know how many times?
Pockets get like
went out to clubs or a bar or anywhere, and I spent money that I won't say that I didn't have, but I know should have went somewhere else because I'm looking for a woman.
Yeah.
I'm looking to spread something at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I also think it's very important to say, like, I'm not saying sex is bad.
No.
That's a
transfer-
great thing. Let's not get
yeah.
it twisted.
Jump in on that.
But what I'm saying is, be careful with who you do it with, and just do it right.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. And to not overindulge in it as
That's
well.
it.
Because that's usually the problem.
Overindulging.
Right. Because sex transmutation doesn't mean you don't have sex.
Yeah.
You know, the overindulgence in sex is where you get in trouble.
Wasting
That's
the
what-
energy on
yes,
this person,
don't
that
waste the
person,
energy.
on that person. You have no type of connection with this person. You have nothing going on with this person. You just trying to get that built up energy you got, and you just trying to let it out on somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can go from people. Go ahead. You got a point?
Before you move on, you said the negative effects. I have to give a saying from Napoleon Hill, right? I Think and Grow Rich.
No way.
I'm going to read it word for word what he said. The desire of sexual contact is so strong that men will risk their lives and their reputations to indulge in it.
How many people do we know that didn't hate it on somebody to get some draws?
Man, you will
Going to
go.
jail for some draws, losing your job, losing your money.
Over some draws. That's always going to be
It
here.
says they'll risk their reputation. How many times did you know, man, if somebody found out I did this, I'm in trouble.
My partner's going to eat me alive.
They're
I know I
gonna
just-
tear
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie, bro. She was ugly, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
She was ugly.
She was
I knew I shouldn't have done it.
You want to get it off so bad though that you can't even tell. You don't. You
Wow.
ashamed. What you getting in bed with somebody that you ashamed of? That's how powerful this is. You get in bed with somebody you ashamed of to get this energy off.
But here's the scary part. You only realize that after it's done.
That's it.
You don't even not taking control of your mind.
You're like,
So
nah.
so let's talk about the other aspect of it. Y'all ready? Pornography. Because you
Said
know,
that P word.
yeah. Because you know what I'm saying. Some people out here, if you got a mouthpiece or you got some game or something like that, you know, you can be wasting this energy on a bunch of people, right? You got the people that's got a whole 6, 7, 8, 9 girls you still sleep with at this time, but you got some people who don't have that. And they suffer from this problem just through porn. Get the highs on their phone and stuff like that. So how much has porn played a part in you not being able to keep this, keep this energy and direct in the right way?
Straight up.
So how powerful is pornography?
Man, whew. So, like Will said, energy is energy, right? No matter which way from that, if it's a real girl or a real hand and a real screen.
Yeah.
The energy is energy.
Energy doesn't discriminate.
It really don't discriminate. So when this whole porn industry really took off, think about this. We know how good it feels with one girl. And energy is energy, right? Can you imagine 10 tabs? Can you imagine 20 girls? Can you imagine another scenario, whatever you want in your mind? You know how many different categories you have? It's a whole other ball game.
Ebony.
It's all BBW. Midget. You know what I'm saying? Everything you have.
Latinas, pick them out.
But this is what the problem is, and just to go a little bit from the scientific perspective of it, that energy, that sex, we have to understand that it releases dopamine in the brain. That one experience is one dopamine release. So just imagine when you have a concentrated form of dopamine that you don't normally experience for an hour, 2 hours, every single day. You know how much dopamine is getting bled out your system? So when it's time to go back to a real girl, the brain says, hey, hold on. I had all this dopamine over here, this right here, this dopamine level is too low. So the brain naturally is gonna seek for that highest dopamine feel-good level.
And boys don't even know why they're going soft in front of a woman.
They don't even know because, I mean, it's just like cocaine. If you put a pile of cocaine in front of somebody and a pile of women, a coke addict will go for that cocaine 10 times out of 10. Because that dopamine release, that brain picks that stuff up so quick. Say, hold on, this is gonna make me feel 100 times better than this ever will.
So basically what we're saying is that is so powerful what it's doing to the mind. So what we know by the laws, you're gonna lock into a subconscious habit of that.
Exactly.
So back to sex transmutation. If you know you can't get a girl every day, all day, cause see, you might not be having sex 2-3 times a day, but you can hit that porn 2-3 times a day. So how much energy are you burning through sex transmutation because of porn?
So let me touch on it. So I've only practiced sex transmutation one time. I thought it was something. When I first discovered the term, I was like, oh, I've done this multiple times. But when I truly said, no, let me sit down and let me explore this, I noticed that time was the only time I truly done it because of porn. And I'm going to tell you why. So, and this was last year. This was last September. Last September, I practiced sex transmutation. And I always been a person where I don't have to have women. I don't have to have women in my life to be satisfied. I'm not fiending for it every night, this and that. Chris knows I've went long stretches where he didn't see one girl at the house. And I'm fine. But when I decided...
No men either, don't get it twisted. Nobody.
Hey, Uncle always says better have a girlfriend than a man. Nah, I'm joking. But when I decided, because those times I'm talking about, I wasn't trying to transmute my energy elsewhere. I just was okay. You know?
You had like a build-up.
Right. So this time when I wanted to practice sex transmutation, but actually transfer that energy towards a desire and goal, I realized how powerful porn was. Because I'm telling myself, I don't have a problem with women. Like you know, I can shut down and not have sex with a woman for a week if I need to. But once it came to me wanting to transfer that sexual energy somewhere else, I was like, wow, I have to stay off this website. Women weren't the problem.
It was you.
And I thought back and I'm like, all those times I'm like, I don't need women. I was jacking off. That's why I didn't need it. Because I was choking that chicken. Shut up. That's why. And I'm like, wow, this is what's hard. Let go.
You can stop dealing with a woman because she getting on your nerves or this and that.
What?
That porn of ain't getting on your nerves.
Yeah, it's really just you and you.
So I really had to sit back and go through withdrawals. Like I used to have to. I would my sexual energy would build up, and I'd be like, okay, I gotta get this out of me. I gotta get this out of me, and I would be like, let me put this energy towards what I want to put it towards. And at the time, it was work, so I tried to crack over my laptop. That wasn't working. I literally had to get up, get out the house, and go walk or something. I have to go run or something, go hit the pool and swim some laps or something.
Because it's pattern.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
I want to segue right when you jumped on that point, which is going to be the next topic before we get ready to wrap it up. How do you fix the problem?
Okay.
We touched on it as far as you know, moving to a desired goal. But for you personally, how did you fix? Well, I would say, I guess sex transmutation ain't something you fix. It's just how did you learn how to master to use it properly?
Right.
Like how did you use it in your favor?
So to answer that question, you won't be able to master it if you personally don't have true desires and goals
In your life.
your life. You have to have real life attainable goals that you want to meet, and you have to have the desire for those goals before you can even think about sex transmutation. And that can be on a short-term level or a long-term level. It can be on the smaller scale or a big scale. They just have to be real, because you can have a goal of working out and changing your body. And you know, if you want to transmute that sexual energy into that, I think that's something that's, you know, on the shorter scale, on the smaller scale, but it's still a real life goal. Or you can have a goal of attaining $1 million in 5 years, which to me is on a larger scale. Either way, it's an actual real goal that you want. So it starts with a desire to attain your goals. If you create that desire, the next thing is testing your willpower. Testing your willpower. I mean, it's all mental. It's all mental.
So the way I mastered it was kind of 2 points. So first thing, remove the situations and scenarios that put you in those old habits to practice the misuse of sex transmutation. So for example, pornography for a reason. If you know that when it's late at night, you got your computer there like you usually do, or you got your phone by you like you usually do, where you would usually fall into those old habits, remove it. Go put that phone in the other room.
Do something different.
Get that laptop out of there. Put a book, instead of this phone right here, replace it with a book. So when you would naturally do it, just say, make the conscious decision.
Had a sex transmutation chapter just open.
Ready to smack you in the mouth.
Because the thing is, like, these habits, they're not like on and off switches. We've been doing these habits for years on end. So when you think about, like, well, I have to fix it, it is a real journey. This isn't no 2 month, 3 month. This is like real dedication to replacing the habit.
So you start with small things.
You start with small things and just build up. Okay, well, I didn't do it that night. Let's go for a week. You know what? I found like I had success when I put my computer, I kept it in the office. Let me just do that again. Let me keep doing those habits. Secondly, the mastering of the sex transmutation is just understanding. If people really understood the power that sex is, not only from a mental standpoint, but from a physical standpoint. You talk about testosterone buildup, you talk about energy surges, just understanding and knowing the power of that was more than enough reason to give me a backing of why to do that.
And what he's saying, the understanding, that's one thing that helped me attain sexual transmutation, is once you acquire this information, now you're telling yourself, I'm a fool if I don't use it. I'm sitting here reading how much this sexual energy can help me in anything else I want to do if I transfer that energy towards it, and I'm not doing it. So when I don't complete a task at work, or when I don't complete any of my goals in my personal life, and I know that I'm not completing it because I'm not using the resources that my mind has attained, what am I telling myself? Am I a failure? Am I a procrastinator? Right. So that fear of not using your resources gets you through it too.
Man, this was spectacular. And it's crazy what y'all said on that last point y'all just hit as we wrap it up. Y'all said understanding. So for all of the people that's watching out there, whether on Instagram, whether on YouTube, or wherever it may be, where you catch this game, where you catch this information on this show, you can no longer say if you watched it that you never heard of it, you never this and that. Now we can give you the quick dose of it right here. It's up to you to go through these books, and we'll drop more on this topic, sex transmutation, because it's so big. There's a lot more in it. This was just the overall view. So as we wrap it up, my last quick thoughts, I start with you. How does it feel knowing that you're using this power right?
Oh man,
real quick.
How does it
just how your
feel?
Energy feel? Just a quick
how
word.
How does it feel? I feel like I have superpowers, to be honest.
Superpowers. How do you feel?
Well, unstoppable, one. but knowing the fact that I have discipline.
Woo! There you have it, man.
Exactly.
This is the powers of mastering this sex transmutation. There's going to be more from the Mastermind Principles as we go into more topics. You guys heard it first with your boy, Mr. CJU. Happy.
Yeah.